What's happening, world? Happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of Cognac Confessionals. I'm your host, Deshaun, here at Where Media Meet Studios in conjunction with VJ TV, Feral Films, History in the Making Entertainment, Keep It Cloudy Productions. Another Friday. A lot of shit going on as usual. Hope everybody having a safe weekend. And to start your weekend.
Kiki's watching. Kiki, a.k.a. I'm not a James. I'm a pal.
What's happening? James gang all day. My man, as always, my co-hostess with the mostest.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
It's been an interesting week. It's been some crazy shit in the news.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy shit.
It's been bananas.
I seen some shit that's, it's crazy shit. Fucking, what's the little light-skinned dude on drugs? Orlando Brown. Yeah, that motherfucker.
Hey, man, y'all don't pay that no attention, man. That man is obviously schizophrenic, man.
Motherfuckers say anything for clicks.
Yeah. And what I'm mad about is we looking at this
Sarah
man
Perry
who's obviously mentally ill, and then he say, Will Smith raped me. Oh, Lil Bow Wow, this and that. And cats really like, see, that's your evidence? That's your evidence that it's real? Like, come on, man.
Motherfucking drugs are a hell of a drug.
Drugs exacerbated by mental illness, that's a combination that can't be defeated.
Pure fuckery. I mean, you got that going on. So now, I haven't heard a response from Bow Wow, which
you can't even dignify that with a response.
Right, and that's why I was going to lead into that. It's like, how do you respond
Garrett?
to some shit like that? What's up, Garrett? How do you? I mean, first that we got to fight.
But that's the thing. If you respond, some people will try to act like that's
proof.
You know. But if you don't respond, some people try like he didn't say nothing.
Yeah, because I seen somebody did a post and it was funny. It was a joke. You know, everybody tried to chime in with their comments. And once I seen a post of the video, some cat was talking about, man, Bow Wow's been 24 hours and you ain't responded.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I get it, but that's.
I know
attention.
One thing I would do though is if there's anybody that I know or they're an industry peer and they spreading this or they liking it or keying off of that, I wouldn't even address Orlando Brown because he's mentally ill.
Right.
But anybody that I know personally or they in the industry too and they keying off of it, they would have to see me.
Right.
Like if we at the Met Gala, wherever we at, you're going to have to see me.
Let's have a conversation, man. It's like, you really think some shit like that? But, I'm going to be devil's advocate. We hear about the stories of the industry and the shit that goes on. So it's a double-edged sword when in that situation. But I mean, ain't no dude just gonna say Deshaun got some bomb-ass pussy and fuck that. I'm sorry.
I mean, but he mental though.
I get it. But at least come on and be like, nigga, look at the source. For real? But no, right. I get to take the high road shit. I get it.
I'm not taking the high road. I'm stomping him out if I see.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not going to
announce it. I ain't promoting violence, but I'm like, man. And I ain't saying we going to meet up somewhere and we play 2K best of 7. Nah, fuck that.
He going to get... Oh, don't get me wrong. Mentally ill or not, he going to get smacked.
Like, for real?
I just wouldn't publicize it or video it and put it out there. But if I saw him, he's getting smacked.
Fucking sex.
But anybody who co-signed that dumb shit, they getting beat the fuck up. He just going to get smacked.
That's some whack ass shit. And speaking of motherfuckers and running their mouth on some viral shit, TPain made some motherfucking acid. I mean, I'm sorry.
But TPain stay saying lame shit.
This motherfucker said, speaking on Pac, which...
Yeah, I'm like, what? I was like, who? Name them. Since you so confident, since you saying all of them, name 2, name 3.
I'm like, for one, y'all know Pac is revered. Yeah, what's up, Rayford? Pac is revered as a rap god. You know what I'm saying? He gone. It's been 25 years.
Yeah.
You know, let that man rest in peace. Yeah, exactly. sold more records than TPain ever will.
Yeah.
In death. In death he sold more records than TPain ever will. But for TPain to make this asinine ass comment.
Ask TPain why he can't go back to his old neighborhood. That's all you gotta do with TPain. TPain was in a group called the Nappy Heads. Mm-hmm. They had a song that went viral called Robbery. Mm-hmm. TPain wasn't even on the actual song, right? Group of young hustlers out of Tallahassee. They made the songs. The song got industry attention. Mm-hmm. Couple labels wanted to, sit down with him. Yeah. T-Pain's father went to the group because he was an older, respected Muslim man in the community, and he said, "Don't y'all go up in there trying to talk to them people on y'all own. I'll go in and represent y'all." Mm-hmm. So the group, and then he even told the group, because there was a bunch of wild dudes with dreads, that whole
young life.
So he told them, "Y'all stay here. I'm gonna put on a suit and go up in there." So he go to New York for the weekend. Mm-hmm. He come back.
What a deal for his son.
That's the game. He come back. The whole group go to his house. Like, okay, what they say? Well, they say y'all not quite ready, but they want to go ahead on to sign him. And the group is like, "Fuck you mean? Mm-hmm. They want to sign? He ain't even on the song that got us in the door."
Right.
But they was dejected. They was 19, the young men. They went home. Mm-hmm. And one of those was a dude named Severe. He was in the group. He said they woke up that morning. They were still hungover because they went drunk. They was all depressed, like, "Oh, we didn't get no deal." And we said, "You know what? This motherfucker went in there and got a solo deal for his son off of us." And he said they decided that morning that they was going to go to the house and beat T-Pain and his son, and T-Pain and his daddy's ass. Yeah. And when they showed up, T-Pain and his father had already moved out.
Damn.
And they've never really been back to Tallahassee except for when they come in to do like the summer jam there. They come in with a lot of security and this and that. But they literally moved out. Like they said, we got up and we ate breakfast. This is how early it was. And it was like, we're going over there to beat their ass.
Right.
And we got there and the house was empty. They must have packed all night and got up out of there in a U-Haul.
Wow. See, that's some cold shit.
So T-Pain's entryway even into the game was kind of janky. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So Keith, he ain't really qualified to speak on nothing.
So Keith, what T-Pain said was that Tupac wouldn't be able to survive lyrically today. He would have been killed sooner in today's hip hop scene.
It was disrespectful.
I was like, dude, and once again, motherfuckers do and say anything for clout. That's the thing about the internet. Is a fucking gift and a curse, double-edged sword. It gives dummies a platform.
Yes, a loud platform.
Yeah, and motherfuckers soak it up, and hella people sharing the shit. Like, look at this shit. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, the resounding response is like, "Nigga, who the fuck is you?"
Yeah. This is the same man that said he couldn't come out of his house for 5 years because Usher told him that he fucked up music with the auto-tune.
Right.
They said he went to a 5-year depression. It's like, okay, you're mentally unstable.
Right. It's like, the fuck is wrong? I mean, don't get me wrong. And the thing about the industry and whatnot now, you get fly-by-night success, overnight celebrities do happen.
Yes.
Because all it takes is, a few motherfuckers to click on your shit and your shit viral. Next thing, like you said, motherfuckers, hey, we want to fuck with dude.
Yeah.
But, there needs to be some integrity and some responsibility and when y'all do these interviews and shit and know who you speaking on, what you speaking on. And even if that's really how you feel, you don't always have to say how you feel.
Yeah, that's why they need A&Rs nowadays.
Because
like the Motown artists, this and that, man, you went on. You
got your questions
screened.
Yeah, your questions were screened for the interview moment. No, y'all ain't gonna ask him that. Mm-hmm. What y'all motherfuckers sitting there in the interview to the side like,
hey, you ever see that video where the reporter was badgering Venus Williams? And her
dad,
up like, "Hey, she already gave you that."
Right, exactly. It's like, where was your man's at? Where was your people? They'd be like, "Hey, bro, because maybe you surrounded by yes men, or maybe you think your auto-tune ass." And don't be wrong, T-Pain made some cool ass songs. Mm-hmm. Gimmick shit goes sometimes. I'm not knocking you as an artist.
And the thing is I heard him he's got this Tiny Desk concert on It's on YouTube, NPR, Tiny Desk.
Yeah.
A lot of them do it, and there's no auto tune, and the brother actually really sounds good.
Right.
He's really actually
the brother can sing. Exactly. But the thing is, ain't nobody checking for your
level,
ass.
I think though he might
On some J-Cat shit.
As an artist, I think he's truly talented, and the auto tune he didn't really need that.
Right.
But he's showing flaws in his character in some of the ways that he
reading his own press clippings.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing, what was it? I don't know if it was Cribs. I think it might have been Cribs or some shit. He had a nightclub in his house and all that. Yeah, motherfuckers be getting shit, and y'all need some, like you said, media training, home training, some shit to where to really teach you how to be out in this environment of when you speaking in interviews and giving your opinions. And I'm not saying you can't feel how you feel, because I'm highly behind freedom of speech in all forms. So you saying what you said, if that's really how you feel, you have the right to say it. So I'm not gonna say you don't. I think it's stupid as fuck.
Like, what are you trying to accomplish by dissing Tupac? And we all know, even if you're not a b-boy aficionado or none of that, ain't none of these young guys not only beating Pac,
right,
but eating him up.
No.
Like, come on, man. Pac's music stopped at 25. And 25 years later,
and could you imagine the growth?
His music still stands out. So, and there's no artist nowadays, like there's a few, but even if you say, oh, well, there's Kendrick Lamar, there's J. Cole, those guys are actually mid to late 30s. So if you're talking about these young guys in their 20s, there ain't no young guy in their 20s that you could say that. So even the most accomplished artists who seem young to us are still mid 30s. Kendrick Lamar is 35. J. Cole is 38. Them dudes Drake is in his mid 30s. Them dude ain't no young dude 22-year-old little whoever eating up and killing Pac. Like, come on, knock it off.
Right. And so I got a comment, but I'm gonna read a comment. Monquisha Jenkins said he did need it. His look and his voice matched together wouldn't have gotten him as far. You're right. It wouldn't have. Because he looked like he was on the side of the road trying to wash windshields. But
now, in all fairness to him, if you go to
Big
Southern
C,
Florida,
what's up?
You go to Southern Florida, that wick type hairdo it's extremely popular. Like out here, cat walking around with like the wicks and that type of dress, we looking around like, hey, even when people with dreads out here be looking like, hey dog, what's up? What's up with that? But in South Florida, I don't know if it's because of the Haitian, Bahamian.
I mean, I get it. That's rocks. That's cool.
Yeah, he looks like a bum out here, but for Florida, he looks like a typical Florida dude.
Yeah, she said, but not for many R&B singers. True.
Big C, what's happening? Next to Ken in the building.
Next to Ken in the building. Oh yeah, hey, we got to link up too, bruh. Me and Pharaoh need to come down there, and we got to get you and your bro and Zoe on here again too. That's what's up. We need to make that happen. Speak that into existence. All praises due.
And then we seen some. Oh, and just another tip for y'all. Make sure y'all check your insurance. You know, I bought a car on Sunday. Sunday at 6, I picked the car up. Monday at 6, over by Parker School, a hit and run driver came in, bapped, and did it moving on me. And that's why I was really a little tired today, because I had to drop my car off at the shop. But hey, take this moment while y'all in good shape to go check your deductibles, check your coverage. Don't trust what the agent told you. Look at it in actual paper. Make sure that you're good. Dot your I's and cross your T's. Hey, yeah, Big C, yeah, Palm Springs. I was supposed to be down there too with them. Yeah, it's grand session right now. So yeah, he's down there. Oh,
he
Rob
ran into Rob. Yeah, he ran into Rob. Yeah. I was supposed to be
What's
down there
happening in Palm Springs? That's
our Masonic Grand Session is going on right now. So I was supposed to be there, but I got other.
Hey, and you see Ivanka Trump went in on the diet. You know they making they making jokes on Twitter talking about she got Epstein's. No respect.
Now I seen somebody posted. Somebody posted something that they said they found her dead in the staircase. I didn't research it. I was
supposedly she fell and hit her stomach on that and died from internal bleeding. That's what people are saying.
What the fuck she fall on, the anvil?
But some people are saying though. But the thing is though is that Trump had a court hearing coming up, and now he's been granted a delay on that. That's why some people are saying that if you don't think Donald Trump would be above killing his ex to avoid seeing justice, then you ain't seen how that man really has moved.
Hey, y'all better understand something about these politicians and these multi-billionaires on paper.
I mean, because really, not to get
Donovan
biblical and all that, but in order to, we all see how hard the grind is just to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see how hard the grind is. If you ever get a chance to get ahead of the game and you got 50 or 100 G's in the bank.
This nigga Anthony.
But I mean, you know how hard the grind is and how much harder you got to grind than anybody else you know. So if you get to $1 million,
because he always
if you get to 10 million, but if you get to $1 billion, man, you have got to be one ruthless, cutthroat individual. There's not too many people who can fluke into $1 billion. You got to be. You got to be willing to step on some necks. You might not always have to step on necks. You don't always have to,
but you got to be able to do some shit that I had to step on the next year.
Wow, Mark.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was cracking up at his shit. He always comes with some wild shit.
And she was wearing heels. Like, he going to come with that shit next.
Yeah.
But my point is, though, is that you might not always have to step on necks to become a billionaire.
She had on a Joe Biden shirt when she got found.
But you have to be willing. See what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of people out there like, oh, he ain't never killed nobody. But he's absolutely willing. Hey. So you can't play with him. And, me, I'd like to be a billionaire. I'd like to be richer than I am. But there is certain moral constraints that I have that not necessarily don't make me a better person. It's just certain things that I'm not willing to do that could increase my wealth. So I can only imagine what it takes to increase to $1 million, to 100 million, to $1 billion. Like, whoo!
And then just think, like, to get uber wealthy.
Yeah.
Your surroundings.
Yeah. And you gotta be around certain type of individuals.
Right. You're gonna have to remove yourself probably from a lot of situations that you normally could do.
From loved ones.
True, because everybody gonna think you Mr. Fix-It and can, hey man, you know something, I'm about to get evicted from my house. Like, motherfucker, for you to get evicted from your house means you hadn't paid your mortgage in 6 months or more. The fuck you coming to me now for?
Yeah. I had once seen, and fuck Hulk Hogan, but once I seen Hulk Hogan said that one of his nieces wanted to borrow $5,000, and he told the niece, "Hey, so what happens the next time you need $5,000? What happens the next time you have to $5,000?" And the niece was basically like, "Oh, well, you're Hulk Hogan." And he was like, "Yeah,
you got it."
And he was like, he said, "But you know what? 4 a.m, I'm at the airport. I'm flying 3, 4. I'm putting more wear and tear on my body than normal. I'm pushing for it. Yeah, I hit a light. He admitted he hit lightning, but he said, but that doesn't work. A lot of people in his family wanted handouts, but he didn't mind helping. But then he would look at their lives sometimes, and he was like, it was not that they weren't getting good breaks, because sometimes nobody gets $1 million break. He said they weren't putting in any work. He said if they were, he said he would have felt better if they were putting in some work and they fell short, and he was like, "Oh, don't worry, I got you."
Yeah, right.
And he said they were literally putting in no work
and expecting the handout. Here you go. They expecting that stipend. It's just like, remember, I've said this several times.
Hey, what's up, Garrett? Yeah, I peeped that message, man.
If I give you $1 million, you won't respect it. But if you earn your first $1 million, you're going to treat it different.
And what's that? If I give you a fish, or I teach you how to fish.
Exactly.
A lot of people don't understand the other part of that parable. If I teach you how to fish, a motherfucking anvil could fall out the sky on me. You'll still be
know
good.
How to fish. Exactly.
It's
like, I can't remember. I know
I'm giving you a greater gift than you know if I'm teaching you how to go get your own.
Also, it's like, you got to watch out. With success, you got envy and hate. Matter of fact, my brother Black Privilege said a great post today. He put it up. He was talking about envy and hate. And envy can come from people closest to you. Hate can be from some motherfucker who don't even know you. Envy can come from people that's close to you. And feeling that because I got it, we got it. And don't get me wrong. In some instances, that is true. If I got it, we have it. True. To an extent.
Yeah. You got to make sure that, you got to make sure that your circle is tight. I remember a long time ago, I was in Houston, Texas with this group that had just signed a major deal. Mm-hmm. And they had wanted me, the label had wanted me to go on the road with this particular group because they was literally some Fifth Ward knuckleheads. Like,
Fifth Ward boys.
Just jumping on the stage and shit when other people are like, nigga, enough of you niggas, right? Just wilding, right? Now, everybody do them antics, but in this era, 93, they was outlandish. But their talent was undeniable. And they had this OG with them who literally would just shit on these niggas. And he was like, I keep these niggas from getting a big head, whoop-de-whoop. And this other OG came to me and said, hey, man, tell them niggas, man, that get rid of that nigga, man. He said, because the whole world already wants to see these niggas fail. Mm-hmm. They don't need to have a nigga calling himself kinfolks, basically making sure that they don't get too big. So y'all got people around you who call themselves keeping it real with you or keeping you in check or keeping you from big-headed, but really that person's hating you and envying you, and now they've appointed themselves as the regulator of you. Right. There's a whole world out there looking to regulate you, looking to diminish you, looking to take advantage of you.
True.
You don't need to be feeding a man to also do that job. Right. You ain't got, it's haters out the door, so you ain't got to go find a hater and bring him with you.
And I mean, that's just like they say, the thing about betrayal. Betrayal never comes from nobody that you don't know or that you don't associate.
Because they can't get close enough to you to really betray you.
But at the same time, I'm going to be devil's advocate. But I agree 100% with what you're saying. Mm-hmm. You do need people in your circle that are big enough to tell you.
Yes.
When you like, hey, hold on, man, hey, your OGs will pull your coattail. Yeah. Pull you up. Tighten your game up on, hey, bruh. Everybody needs that. Yeah. I think in society today, especially listening at this TPain shit, motherfuckers got too many yes men's in they fucking corner, them leeches that's just go along with everything. Oh man, yeah, you got it, you on point. Hell yeah, you wouldn't have been able to do it.
And now look at like the Chris Browns, the what's that boy Trey Songz. Look at these cats, man. They all caught up in all kinds of dilemmas. But when you look at them, they are
right,
like
Lamar,
I seen the reality shows. Like, man, them cats got mad yes men around them.
I would never do a reality show. Reality shows are the fucking worst.
Only way I do a reality show is if it's super
some real world
and that
shit,
was the only way to get in the game.
If it's some real world shit, I used to, old school real world. You put motherfuckers in, and it ain't even got to be the drama shit. Just and like the challenge, the shit they do with the real world. I'll watch that shit because it's a competition. That's fun.
They want to see you acting ignorant. They want you to come in and you a platinum motherfucker, but you fighting in the project.
Exactly.
So all this drama, you got a sidekick. They want all that.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like this. A lot of people
all scripted.
They won't gravitate towards you unless you got these things going on.
Like, speaking of reality, like real world, when they used to do the challenge, because I used to watch that shit that was my shit. The real world road rules challenge and shit. The shit was good, and there was an honor system with the dude team. Because remember, you had the dudes versus the women. I mean, you had a male champion and a female champion. It used to be a point system, and all the dudes. This is early back in the '90s, back in the real essence of some real shit. But the dudes had an understanding on points, and it was like if you the lowest person when it came to elimination on points, you was the one getting booted off the show. It was an understanding, they knew it. The motherfuckers threw a get together when it was your turn to go, and it was cool. Then the ratings and shit. I mean, it was cool, but now you got that
I love Real World.
Yeah, that was my shit. But
Real
I'm just
World
saying,
and Road Rules.
Road Rules. That was that's the first original reality show.
Unfortunately, I downloaded the Zeus app.
I don't know what that is, but
it's a whole app dedicated to Christina knows. It's really like this. If they could get away with it legally, they could just change the name of the Zeus app to Niggatry, and it wouldn't not fit. I mean, like it would be a perfect fit. And so there was a Jocelyn Cabaret is on there, and they had this clip where this girl had said that, "Oh, I just had an abortion, some twins, right?" Like how was she talking about how desperate she was. So in this vulnerable moment, another one of the girls behind her said, "Damn, double homicide." And
I think I remember that. I remember something about that.
So I was so curious as to see the context of that, what happened, that I downloaded the app, and you're supposed to pay $4.99 a month for it, right?
I'm not paying
but,
for niggas.
But here goes the thing. I accidentally set it up on autopay.
Oh.
So I looked up one day and I got charged. So I'd only wanted to see that one episode, but I looked up and I've been getting charged for a year. So I'm like, fuck it. So I canceled it. So when I canceled it, they said, "Oh, well, you still got to this time." So I'm like, fuck it, let me get my money's worth.
Might as well binge watch the shit.
Every single show. Like there's Natalie Nunn on there looking like somebody's grandma brawling. Like every single show was just, like I said, it was just
it's fuckery.
Flat out. Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, this Zeus app only exists to make
the buffoonery. Hey, that's like back in the day, it was a show. I don't know if it's still out.
Quisha say YouTube. Yeah, I just wanted to see that because the girl said, "Damn, double homicide."
I remember that. When you said that, I remember seeing a clip of that, and I didn't, go much into it, but I remember that. But there was a show, Bad Girls Club. I used to watch it with the wife because, and I'm gonna tell you, when I used to watch
Bad Girls Club.
When I used to watch it, I was like, I could sit with my lady and watch tits and ass.
Yeah,
I used to watch shit. That's what it was. It was like, hey, fuck these bras. I ain't gonna call them bras. These women. I'm gonna be politically correct. These women in a house, just like Real World. Everybody wants every reality show is a knockoff, spinoff of Real World.
Well, this whole Zeus network is a spinoff of Bad Girls Club. In fact, some of the girls like Natalie Nunn, who was on Bad Girls Club, they have a show on there. And then Blueface, this rapper Blueface, got this where he got the most broke down group of women all living in bunk beds and they fighting each other.
See, that's the problem I have with reality shows. Like you said, motherfuckers tear each other down, do all type of shit. Just like basketball birds. That's households of whatever city y'all in. All that negativity you get. We can't. What's happened to shows where it's just like, hey, something? We trying to do some shit for real. It ain't got to be catty, and everybody look down on us. And just like it's another one of them reality shows with these doctors.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying. I ain't gonna say the name because I don't want nobody trying to.
But they was on there brawling.
Even them bitches. It's like for real because then when I first seen it, I was like, wait a minute, yeah, that one. I was like, oh, it's some upper echelon, some black educated people.
I saw that and I thought I was supported.
I was
like, I saw them, they was on there throwing hands.
Some bullshit. And I'm like, see, this is exactly why we can't. Motherfuckers sell their soul. Motherfuckers do anything for clout. And that's the basis of this shit.
I worked for Southern Health for 15 years. I've known a lot of black lady doctors. And let me tell you something. I can't imagine any type of scenario where any of them would have been throwing hands.
Thank you.
They've created a reality show and found black women doctors. They sisters of the Deltas, they AKAs. They on national TV throwing hands.
That's not how
come
we do.
Come on, man. Y'all stop that. Because any of us who know any black doctors, we know they carry themselves with a level. Now, behind closed doors, they might be doing hookers and blow, whatever. But in public, they carry themselves with a level of dignity. Could you imagine Dr. Watson somewhere throwing hands?
Yeah. What you talking about? My MRI idea wasn't this. So what? So what I like to
married to medicine. That's what it was.
That's what it is. I wasn't gonna say the name because I don't, motherfuckers gonna go try to watch it. I'm not trying to promote the shit.
Like I said, that one comment, it seems like as above it as I should be. That double homicide shit made me download the app to see that shit myself. So there's a lot of people out there that put it like this on Bad Girls Club. It'd be 2 or 3 chicks fighting on Zeus Network. Everybody's fighting.
I used to watch Bad Girls Club because they be loaded with each other. Don't get me wrong. They would fight sometimes, get into it. But it was just chicks and they go out to the bars and get drunk, and they out sleeping with niggas and doing shit, and I just be sitting there like, see, this how bitches be. Because I was like, but that's life.
But the new generation, they just on there fighting.
And I'm like, this is some bullshit.
I be like, damn, eat breakfast
Can't
first.
nobody get along. Yeah, wake up bacon on bacon.
Wake up. Yeah, I'm ready to fight that bitch last night. Well, me, man, pass the sausage and eggs.
If y'all gonna do reality shows, man, have some essence to y'all shit. Some accountability. Let's do some real shit. And nobody want to support that. Just like you got
you gotta make an effort to, because believe it or not, they give you lower than the common denominator type of things. Like I don't really like, a lot of people want to push this like, there's a conspiracy theory or there's an agenda that they push. But the thing is that at the end of the day, they want to give you the lowest common denominator entertainment, right?
Yes.
But if you reject that and you only watch this here, then that's what they'll give you because they want to get paper.
Exactly.
See, they thought in the 80s, damn what Bill Cosby became. In the 80s, the Cosby Show was a good look. And they was on some, wow, okay, the blaxploitation era died because we started saying, man, we tired of that pimp hoe shit. So now they came with that and they was like, oh, shit,
you had a
shit
different world. And that's the thing. You had a different world, and then you had a bunch of, and that's the thing about it. Even with Martin, and I'm gonna be honest, all the Martin shows ain't funny.
Out.
I'm gonna be honest. That's just my personal opinion. I mean, it was cool back then, but they play the shit all day on one of them little boot that broke down networks.
BET,
but BET niggas don't even own BET. But anyway, all I'm saying is back then you would see the apparel. You had HBCU sweatshirts and whatnot going on, putting into your subconscious of the thought process or whatnot. But now everybody is living single.
There's no balance.
You had even Girlfriends was a cool show for sisters.
Yeah.
All
the main professional was a lawyer.
And Persia White with her her tattoo. Anyway, so
Joan was way finer. Joan got cakes.
Joan got cakes, but Persia White was I like tattoos. But anyway, so all I'm saying is the movement, we went from asking for a handout to being able to provide for ourselves and perpetuate knowledge subconsciously to this bullshit we being force fed now with Uncle Clifford's and all this other bullshit. Because
I'm always in the dilemma about that Uncle Clifford thing.
I don't want to talk about that show no more. I don't even watch it no more. I'm done.
But I'm just gonna say, here's my dilemma.
We're supposed to support black excellence, but I'm over it.
But see, here's the dilemma, right? Like, I don't like the agenda that the show is obviously pushing, but on the flip side, as a creative, the writing, the layering, the storytelling, the acting and stuff like that is so marvelous. Like when they had that movie Moonlight, right? I was like, I'm not fucking with it, right? Then I had somebody say, yeah, you're not fucking with it because of the content, but as a creator, the way that story was put together, the way it was, this and that, and the way they win that Oscar, it's like, you gotta be able to, like it's almost the equivalent of going to film school, some of that. So I'm sitting there like, but the dilemma though, like in the case of that other show with Uncle Clifford and them and this and that, is like, why is and even in the case of The Chi, like why is some of the best made content got agendas that I disagree with? Like,
I don't have to agree with everything.
But I'm just saying, as a creative, you'd be like, wow, this is really excellently made. This is really excellently made. But then you'd be like, wow, but some of this shit just don't sit right with me.
Holly weird.
It's
an agenda.
It's like, man, I wonder how many other creatives are out there who would also deliver a level of content that would be like, okay, this is quality, and they not getting past the gatekeepers.
Exactly, because now everything has to have, and this is no knock on nobody's orientation and nothing. Mm-hmm. All the shows now got to have a same-sex couple, both sides, heavily.
And that doesn't make sense.
And I think once again, please don't misconstrue my intent or nothing. I'm telling you specifically my opinion, and there's no harm in nothing. So I don't want no backlash. Please, I'm gonna tell you what I mean. It's included in everything. I'm not saying it doesn't belong in the world. Live how you live. I've said this over and over since the beginning.
But in real life,
I'm not
10%. 10% of the world supposedly is gay.
I don't
in
have
real life.
I don't personally.
But on TV, black shows especially,
right,
40% of the characters are
right. So and once again, like I said, live your life. I have no judgment.
I agree with Lamar.
I have no judgments against anybody who lives the lifestyle they live, as long as you ain't harming kids and harming women. Do what you want to do. As long as you happy, hey, that's good. Do what you do. Just being honest with you, 100%. But it doesn't mean it needs to be force-fed on kids and everything you do. It does not mean that.
Well, sometimes, like when I have my granddaughter with me, 80% of the content that I consume, I can't watch when she's there. Because I know that even if I entertain this, somebody's going to come prancing across the screen naked, or two of the same gender is suddenly going to start swapping spit.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I was like, so I just have to turn to like some animated joints or something like that.
Right.
But even on the animated joints, I know this because she said to me the other day, "Ugh, that's two girls kissing," and I'm sitting there like, "Just a fucking cartoon." And I turned it on the cartoon because there was some other shit that I was really wanting to watch because she was there. I turned it on that, and then she said, and I wasn't paying any attention because I'm sitting there like, I don't want to watch this shit, but we sitting there chilling, and then she said, "Ugh, it's too," and I'm sitting there like, the fucking cartoon.
Everything. It's been in all these different alternative lifestyles and all these different things to get into your subconscious been introduced forever.
Quisha, correct.
Before we was even born. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I was going to comment on her comment.
Like,
right,
that's my
she's right.
point
It's difficult to not support when it's tied to other good content. You're right. You are absolutely right. It's hard, and you're like, damn, you know something? I like the show. You can feel how you feel, and how anybody feel, that's your opinion. That's great.
Right.
But what happened to, and please, and once again, don't nobody take my shit the wrong way. I don't mean no disrespect, no harm to nobody when I say what I'm about to say. Where are the shows without the heavy influence of that? I'm not saying anything's wrong with it. It's not the lifestyle I live. I don't care if that's your lifestyle. I personally don't give a fuck. Everybody deserves to be happy. I believe that wholeheartedly. As long as you ain't harming children or beating women or doing some crazy shit. When I say crazy shit, I mean where you're personally hurting people, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, financially. If you're in alignment with just doing cool content, whatever, do whatever. I don't care. Same thing with I was born this species, but I identify as this species, but I want to compete against this species. Now that's something where I will say maybe you should have your own league. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. I don't, because and especially this when it comes to the men who identify as women, which psychologically,
I even had one in MMA, and I thought that was bananas.
I'm not educated enough to give a professional opinion. I can just give my human opinion on it. And I'm not saying that you don't deserve to feel how you feel and identify how you identify. So please, once again, and I'm going to always repeat this because people, the problem with the world is people take click sound bites of shit and then run with it and try to turn
and take it out of context.
Exactly. So I don't care if you want to wake up and be a fucking pelican in the morning. I don't give a fuck. More power to you. If you identify as a pelican, hey, that's what you do. Live your truth. But I don't think you should compete.
Right.
in a division with natural born of that species.
So
because
you're looking at it from a realistic point of view.
Yeah, I'm not being a phobia of any kind. I am not. So I said,
if somebody wants to be trans, I'm like, cool.
Go for it. Do
and
what
in
you want to
fact,
do.
if somebody came in here and said I'm trans, and I walked outside and somebody was beating them up for being trans, I'm gonna jump in and
like, hey, y'all need to chill. Let that go.
But I'm okay with that. But the flip side to that, though, is that my aforementioned granddaughter, if my granddaughter is going in the bathroom and there's a dude in a dress going in the bathroom, I'm not going to be comfortable with that.
Right, because
we
know.
And I don't want to restrict dudes' right to that, but I also don't want to infringe upon her right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm like this: if you want to be a girl, I'm okay with that. And if that's how you feeling, then blood going on to live. But then I don't want you out there in the UFC against women and beating the brakes off of them or breaking the world record.
You're right, because I remember there was one who damn near put somebody in a coma. Yeah, they cracked their skull or something. Yeah, the whole nine. I remember that, and a lot of us was like, who sanctioned this? Who thought this was okay? But we live in give them cake. Remember, feed them cake. And the gladiator society of, as long as I keep you entertained, you ain't paying attention to this other shit that's going on.
But we gotta have some level of common sense standards.
Hold on. I hear you, but you know me. Mm-hmm. There's no such thing as common sense, because if sense was common, everybody would have it, or at least the majority of people would have it. And by what we see, and from my humble opinion, it's a lot of motherfuckers that don't have common sense. Right?
But there's moral aspects like,
now there you go.
I am a man. If I wake up tomorrow and say, you know what, I've been feeling this way all my life, you can't let me be out there shot putting with the women and playing in the WNBA. That's like, come on, like that's nonsensical.
Man,
and that's not stopping me from being a woman.
And
that's just like common sense.
That movie, just to go to the Hollywood.
Shout out to Miguel Nunez.
Yeah, really he was in one of our movies. Yeah. But that movie, along with Ms. Doubtfire, and
was it Prophecy?
Yeah, ain't nothing new under the sun. Come on. And, the Hollywood is Hollywood. So, I mean,
Hollywood is a really unique place because there's so many people that's trying to get there by any means necessary. But, man, do you really want to be there?
I don't want to be in them things where I like being able to go to this grocery store with my kid, going to his game, and without worrying about who trying to take pictures. You motherfuckers probably trying to take pictures anyway, but I mean, I like being normal, just being able to do normal shit. And the thing is, as I grew up very humble beginnings. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm good where I'm at, but I didn't always
far away from where you came.
Yeah, but but at the same time, I've always been adjacent to some epic shit with my bloodline. Mm-hmm. But I'll never forget those beginnings. So being able to normal shit, and don't get me wrong, we all want to be, and there's nothing wrong with this thought. Everybody wants to have a struggle-free life.
Yes, Lord knows I do.
I get it, and I can respect that. Everybody
in fact,
wants
if you
to have
too
a
loving of the
life.
Struggle, I'm gonna get the fuck away from you. Yeah. If you praise the struggle or love to play, hey, remember back in the days and glorify the struggle?
Hey, right.
I'm gonna tune you the fuck out.
Exactly, too. That's my thing. They pushing this shit on kids and give the kids an opportunity to be a kid. Yeah. How can a 7-year-old? And this is once again my humble opinion. How can a 7-year-old identify that? No, this is who I want to be. Because why? They seen something somewhere. You ain't even had no pussy. You ain't even had no. Right. You ain't even did none of this shit to experience nothing but it. No, I want it because, and parents, I think we miss. The world is missing Big Mama. The world is missing ass whoopings, and I'm not saying beat your kids, but I think the world is missing corrective, constructive discipline. Everybody feels that. Fuck them participation trophies. I said it. Fuck. Yeah. You motherfuckers, y'all done fucked up the world. The fucking participation trophies. But
yeah,
right,
that everybody gets a trophy
all day.
That everybody gets a trophy. You cool just because you showed up? Nah. I grew up in that era where somebody was the MVP and somebody was the scrub.
Second place is first.
And guess
loser.
what? It did. And guess what? Every time I had to be the scrub, it didn't fucking kill me.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing about and when you grow up and you have the opportunity to age, in anything in life, and even with mental health, because mental health is real. So
it really
that's the focus we need to focus on, people's mental health and
but
trying
some
to build
people
up
use
that
mental health as a crutch.
True, but what I'm gonna say
bipolar, this and that. Okay,
people are bipolar. I get that.
But see,
the
thing is like, I have people that work in mental health, and I was in the healthcare industry. Mm-hmm. If you're able to say, "Oh, I have these mental health issues," if you are able to articulate what's going on with you, then that means that you are aware of what's happening. Mm-hmm. So at that point, if you are aware of what's happening, there's some people that be like, "Man, I always be fucking up. I got some dysfunction. I don't know what's going on with me." That's a person that's not aware. Mm-hmm. But when a person can say, "Oh, I'm bipolar," or "I'm manic depressive," or "I'm this," or "I'm that," okay, so you're this, so you're this. So you're aware of your diagnosis, even if it's a self-diagnosis, you're aware of what's happening.
A lot of people go to WebMD nowadays.
But once you are aware of what's happening, there are then steps that you can make to address it. See, there's some people be like, "Man, shit just don't never work out. I'm dysfunctional." That's a person that's not aware. But some people will be like, "Oh, I'm this, or I'm that." Okay, well, if you're this and you're that, there are steps that can be taken to alleviate that or to allow you to live life dealing with that. And many people are unwilling to do that. Like, there's some people, if they listen to certain music, they get depressed, get thinking about Big Mama, whatever. Well, then the step you need to take is to no longer listen to that music. In fact, you need to then analyze, well, what music makes you feel uplifted? So that's the only music needs to be on your tongue. But I'm just saying, you can't say, "Oh, man, every time I get drunk, I get to acting the fool, man. And, man, I got a problem with alcohol." And then on Friday, I'm just saying, using an example.
Right. No, I'm going.
Like, I can't say, "Oh, I got a problem," or all the bad decisions I made is based off of alcohol. And then you see me like this with a cup of alcohol in my hand. Okay, so then you have a problem with, you know what I'm saying?
The alcohol is
it's just a accelerator. It's not the actual problem.
Right. It's an accelerator because the thing about alcohol, remember, alcohol, there's a couple of people that tell the truth. Mm-hmm. Babies and it's drunk.
Yeah, if a person gets drunk and tell you, "Man, I never liked your ass anyway," no, they really didn't like you. And then, they really didn't like you.
A drunk, because when you drunk, your walls, because you're inebriated, all your walls that you put up in the world are disseminated.
So if you got a kin person that flashed on you, or somebody that you loved that flashed on you while they was drunk and you blaming it on the drink, ask them, "Okay, why do you feel this way?"
Because something triggered that.
But see, that's the thing. Too often in our society, when things are wrong with us, we just treat the symptoms. We don't treat the actual problem. Like DMX said a real thing. When somebody asked DMX if he had a drug problem, and he said, I saw this in an interview, and he said, "No, I didn't have a drug problem." They looking at him like, "No." He said, "No, I had a life problem."
Right.
The drugs was just a symptom.
Thank you.
But I had a problem with life.
Thank you.
And that's like, oh, okay. And I was like, wow, that was deep. So, like, lots of times if people act a certain way, they're like, okay, if you want to help them and not enable them, then ask them why. And if you are a person that's having problems, don't be like, "Oh, I'm bipolar. Oh, I'm this and that." Okay, why? What is your trigger? Like you said, what is your triggers?
You got to.
And okay, now let's start addressing those like triggers. Because here's the thing: if you're trying to really defend yourself, then figure out what you up against and start building. And I'm not talking about I'll just get over it. No, because things is hard. But I'm just saying, if you just say, "Oh, I have problems," and then sit back and continue to fuck over everybody that loves you,
you're not helping.
You're not.
You're the problem.
Yeah, you're not doing anything to address it, because there's people who are mentally ill and they're also bad people. Mm-hmm. Like, even if they weren't mentally ill, they'd be a bad person.
Right.
So even before they went schizophrenic or this and that, they was always shitty motherfucker.
It was already in their mode.
They fucked people over in school. They stole out their mama's purse. Like they were already.
And even they deserve the opportunity to change.
Well,
once they discover that they need to change and accept the fact that they need to change.
But see, that's the thing. Once you are willing, many of us bullshit ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people bullshit themselves.
We don't have.
So stop bullshitting yourself. Get real with yourself, and then push forward. Because a lot of people be like, everything gonna be all right, or we gonna hope and dream, or this and that. No, be real with yourself.
Most people, when it comes to holding themselves accountable, only hold yourself accountable at a skin surface level. A scratch where you put just some Neosporin on your shit, and that's it.
You just address the symptoms.
Right. Just the effect. Mm-hmm. You don't go to the root cause. You don't dig deep.
Yeah.
Go into looking and be like, you know something? Why do I act this way? Why am I an asshole? I'm an asshole at times.
But we love you, though.
I can be an asshole. But I have conversations with myself of why I'm an asshole in certain ways, and I have real conversations with myself, and I hold myself accountable to shit. I'm not saying I've completely fixed everything that I've thought and whatever, but you got to address shit. But the thing about it is, you have to address it, and actually, it's just like, I've had family members who've been drug addicts, alcoholics, and whatnot, and I actually had a family member who went to NA and AA meetings, and I was a kid, and they took me and a couple of my cousins, to the meeting with them, as a kid. And I sat there and watched the shit. Mm-hmm. As a kid, a young kid, was like, wow. And people had to accept, and I was like, wow.
Well, part of those things is brutal self-honesty.
You got to be able to not only call yourself out on your own bullshit, but address the bullshit that you acknowledge. And be real enough with yourself to acknowledge your own bullshit. Because the boy that cried wolf only cried wolf because he was the only person who was crying wolf.
Yeah. In 2018...
You'll get that at 3 a.m.
In 2018, I ended up working for State Farm. And they sent me on an assignment to Atlanta. And I had me a little pad there, right? And I was never big on being honest. People be like, hey, what's up? You cool? I'm all right. I was always, I'm all right, or crack a joke. Nigga, don't worry about me. Nigga, I'm good. I've always been my entire life, nigga, I'm good. Or don't worry about me, dog.
I'm
nigga, I'm
like that.
And for the first time in my life, in 2018, because I looked up in my whole life, I always lived with somebody, lived with family, had roommates, partners, this and that. 2018, I had literally never been alone. Mm-hmm. I always had people around me. And I looked up, crutches. And now I'm working in Atlanta, and the spot I was staying in,
I remember we talked about this.
It didn't have cable. So I didn't have any distraction. And I would come home from work, and I would sit there, and I didn't know anybody in Atlanta. And I would sit there, and I would stare at the ceiling, and for the first time in my life, I was alone with just
your thoughts.
Me.
Right.
And I realized that I didn't even like me. There was so much shit that I do, or so many things that I say that would be fucked up, I didn't like, so many moves. And I was sitting there like, damn. I'm finally alone with me. There's no distraction. There's nobody about to come over. There's nobody I got to go
coming
see.
Over. You can just.
And I literally, I really started thinking, I don't like me. I don't like me. And when I ended up expressing on Facebook, like, hey, for the first time in my life, I'm alone. I'm with just me. And I realized the reason why I'm always into shit, always doing shit, always surrounding myself, is because I never wanted to be alone with me. And I was like, damn, I don't like me at all.
I've done that.
And I had to be
honest with yourself.
Honest with myself. And I was like, damn, this is probably the first time in my life at my big age that I've been honest with myself. And then there was other people that hit me and been like, blood, I came to that same realization, this and that. But instead of me saying, oh, well, fuck it, this just me.
Right.
I then actively embarked on changing who I was. And so for now, 4 years later, this 2022, I'm I'm still a work in progress.
We all are.
But I'm so different than the person because I said, you know what? I don't like me, but I'm not just going to be like, oh, well, this just me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, nah, I'm finna change me. We all got the power to change.
But
it all starts with one thing like what you said. Honesty. You got to be honest with yourself.
Have that hard conversation with yourself.
And it's difficult. Because if you've been bullshitting yourself for 30 years, 40 years, whatever, and now all of a sudden you got to be like, you know what? Maybe there is things about me to change. Maybe in that particular situation, I was wrong. Maybe I didn't do this right. Maybe I didn't be there for my kids on the level I should have. I always wrote the check, but I never spent the time. Like it was, you know what I'm saying? Never spent. Like, in fact, last weekend, I went and spent, my daughter lives in Sacramento now, and I went and spent about 8 hours with her, eating and sitting there chilling and this and that. And then I realized, she's 31. I have never in her entire time on this earth spent that much time with her. And I got to know her a little bit better and hear her opinions on shit. Because I was always the nigga show up, how much it costs? Nigga, let me know how much it costs.
We make that mistake.
How much
it
costs?
We make that mistake of thinking,
how much it costs?
Because I got it covered.
Yeah.
That covers everything.
What more y'all want from me? Shit, I showed up with the bread. I was that dude.
Right.
And then I'd sit there and look and be like, wow, I didn't know this about you. I didn't know this about you. But that's part of my work in progress on myself wow. And then I look up and I'll be like, man, my daughter been 31 years on this earth.
For 31 years.
And I never spent 8 hours with her. I never spent a whole day with her the entire time she was on earth. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not as great a dad as I'm not. But here's the thing. Now I'm not bullshitting myself no more like, oh, I'm great. No, I'm not great. So from this moment forward, I'm going to be great. See, I'm not going to hold myself accountable. If I kept bullshitting myself, I'll be like, shit, what niggas want from me?
Right.
I always showed up with the bread.
Yeah, I get that. We all flawed.
But that's the thing. A lot of us are not willing to address our flaws.
Ms. Jenkins said, it's a blessing you had that opportunity.
Yes.
Exactly. That's
because
dope.
I have friends and family. I have friends and partners that they daughters and sons get a certain age and don't fuck with them no more. And the niggas like, oh, nigga, I always paid the support. I always came through. I don't even know why they tripping. And they tripping because they actually, even though you always came through with the bread, even though you always came on the special occasions, you didn't actually form that bond. And if you're honest with yourself, you'll realize that and you'll address that.
Right. You'll go through that shit with your kids. And we gonna
it's that time.
Yeah, it's that time. We was going deep. We ain't going 2 hours tonight, y'all. So next week we'll tap in some more.
Only thing I'm gonna say is that right now, while you got breath in your body and you got strength and this and that, anything that's going on that you don't like about yourself, anything you don't like about about your relationships, or even regard to your kids, significant other, whoever, you right now have the ability tonight to pick up the phone or drive to where they at, and make a change.
Hey, for real, because life is short. Life is like I had a conversation. Like I tell people, life is moments, and I get the past. The future is one thing. The past is one thing. But all you have
can't change, and the future ain't happened yet.
Right.
All you got is
you have is the present. All you have is right now. The moment you're in right now. Because God forbid that I cannot wake up tomorrow. Anybody can anything at any moment. Have fun. Enjoy life. Please learn as much as you can learn. I was taught and learned some shit early to where always keep the mind of a child
open, inquisitive,
because you observe shit as a sponge. Some people may not get that with me. Like I joke around. I do just my persona with a lot of shit. Don't get me wrong. There's shit that I'm hella dead serious about, but I'm childish in a sense of not maturity, but of supreme maturity, to be honest with you. Exactly, because I want to learn shit, and I want to be able to absorb some knowledge and some shit, because you can learn something from anybody. I can learn something from a homeless person. I can learn something from a billionaire. I can learn something from somebody struggling, and I can also learn from somebody who's a cold-hearted killer. I can learn something from anybody.
Yes, you can. I went on a cruise with the fam, 15 deep. and they got so pissed at me because everywhere we went, they
Hey,
wanted to go
sis.
snorkeling or deep sea, and I'm like, nah, man. Take us to the Mayan ruins. Take us to the. I'm trying to learn about. Tell us about the history of the island. You know what I'm saying? And everybody else
This
wanted
nigga
to
Ant said he'd
yeah,
rather cash app the child. See, Ant, nigga,
knock it off.
I know you here for comedic relief, but he tunes in faithfully.
Hey, when he coming? When he coming back down, man?
Yeah, you gotta come down, fuck with it, bro. You already know it's all good. But
hey, we want to argue
look,
about them intangibles, Simone. Let's get
yeah.
Kayla back on too.
Yeah, we got a few girls coming on, but hey, it's Friday. It's the middle of July. Summer is only a couple of weeks to almost over, so
It's almost left.
I want
Hey, this fall, Vampire in Oakland is dropping.
make sure y'all ready. Hey, I'm in that motherfucker.
Yes, indeed.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in as always. I'm not gonna shout everybody out individually because I'd have to go back but I sincerely and humbly appreciate everybody that tunes in. I appreciate you. Shout out to Sister Pringle, y'all out there Grand Session. I wish I was down there. I'm mad I ain't down there with the bros and y'all right now on the level, on the square. I wish I was down there, but civic duty.
I'm gonna have to get in that gang.
We're not a gang, so we gon' no. You're not gonna. You're not. Gonna,
I need to get on that team. I need to become
part
part of that movement,
bruh. Can we have this conversation without alcohol? Without alcohol, for real though. I can't do that. We can't have that. Don't you speaking on it because there's alcohol involved. Don't speak.
No, I'm just gonna say this one sentence. I was saying this one sentence. When I was in my 20s, I asked the person about it, and he said you get chosen.
This is
and I've never been chosen, and I always been like, man, am I falling short? Nobody's ever approached me.
I'm gonna stop because you already know my level with this shit. No, we're not gonna do that. Anyway, hey, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in as always. To my esteemed co-host, Pharaoh the Great, as always. Tell them where they can find you at.
Oh, man, you can find me across the board, man, on pretty much all social platforms at Pharaoh Films. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, the whole nine. Just put in Pharaoh Films and hit Google, and something related to me is going to pop up.
It will. For real,
Please
though.
believe it.
And I'm Deshaun. You can find me at Instagram at Cognac_Confessionals. On Facebook, Cognac Confessionals. On YouTube, Cognac Confessionals. Also, we looking to expand the brand and do some more things. We trying to spread this out. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Share the page. Y'all. Hey, we do this for y'all. I love doing this because this is what we do. And if you want to be on the show, you got some content, some opinion, business, whatever you doing, whatever you got going on. If we can introduce you to the audience, I'm open for it as long as it ain't no hate speech shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I don't do hate speech because I don't hate nobody. Cool. It takes too much energy to hate. But hey, I want to wish you all a great weekend. Please be safe out there. Scoob, what's up, bro? Pacer for life. As a matter of fact, I want to end this. Rest in peace, Scoob. Just seeing your reminding me. My fam Corey, his funeral was yesterday. Pacer for life. Rest well, bro. May Allah bless you and receive you. Yeah, man. Life is short. Y'all take care. And I know it's time to say goodbye to all my Negro friends. But hey, seriously, be safe. Take care of yourselves. Respect one another. And at the end of the day, hold yourself accountable. Love and life.